Today's August 21st, 2019, and there's a little message from YouTube. Hi there. We're writing to let you know about an update to YouTube features after September 18th. Now there's a storm coming with the storming Area 51, right? Isn't it on the 21st, somewhere around there? You will no longer be able to use the YouTube messaging feature to exchange messages directly on YouTube. While this feature will no longer be available, you can continue to share YouTube videos. So let me start back with June 3rd, 2019, where the police commissioner warns office about offensive social media posts, which was leading up to his fall, his firing or quitting or whatever you want to call it.
Local officers creating a social media firestorm, the controversial posts that some say are offensive. Eyewitness News continues now at 5:30. Philadelphia's police commissioner is delivering a stern warning to his officers. It comes after a lawyer reviewed how police officers behaved on social media. Our Joe Holden is live at police headquarters with this story. Joe.
Good evening. Revelations first dropped over the weekend. BuzzFeed carried it first, and it catalogs a trove of questionable social media posts by officers across the country. Philadelphia is prominently displayed in this database. It has. Good evening. Revelations first dropped over the weekend. Philadelphia is prominently displayed in this database.
And 6 people got shot.
The dramatic standoff in Philadelphia, cops running for their lives. 6 of them were shot, 2 others trapped for hours, safely escaping just over an hour ago. That standoff is still happening right now, and it's been going on since this afternoon. Eyewitness News reporter Jim Dolan on the story since the beginning. He's in the newsroom with the latest. Jim.
Yeah, Bill, all this still unfolding after a tense night-long gun battle. Philadelphia police right now surround the home on North 15th Street, where a gunman has spent much of the afternoon and evening firing an assault weapon at whatever police he could find. 6 officers so far injured. And
under fire, hundreds of Philadelphia police officers, some ranking sergeants and lieutenants, have been outed for alleged racist and violent posts across. Under fire, hundreds of Philadelphia police officers, some ranking sergeants and lieutenants.
Under fire, hundreds of Philadelphia police officers.
2 officers who were trapped inside with the gunman did escape late tonight. In the Nicetown neighborhood in Philadelphia today, police crouched behind cars, pinned down as gunfire skipped off the sidewalk beside them. You can see the gunshots coming from the top of the building across the street.
You can see them now.
Police believe they're being fired from an assault rifle.
Neighborhood.
It started around 4:30 this
Neighborhood.
afternoon.
He continues to fire rounds out of the window, so this situation is in no way resolved.
Additional cars. Additional cars.
Shots still fired. Several shots, officers. We got an officer down.
At least 6 police officers were shot in just the first hour. You can see them being rushed from the scene. One of them grazed in the head. The mayor spoke tonight with that officer's family.
I was talking to one of the officers who had the graze wound to the head, and he had 2 little boys. It looked like they were 9 or 10 years old, 8 or 9 years old, and kept on thinking about how their lives would have changed for 9 or 10 years old, 8 or 9 years old, for 9 or 10 years old, 8 or 9 years old, and kept on thinking about how their lives would have changed just with a little bit more difference in space.
I heard.
Shooting happened, the first batch, 8/14. There's 3 more in a row. 9 days. August 23rd. 10 days. August 24th.
Racist pieces of, well, we won't say.
Oh. 11 hours. CBS Philly, 11 hours.
Eyewitness News reporter Jim Dolan on the story since the beginning. He's in the newsroom with the latest. Jim.
Yeah, Bill, all this still unfolding after a tense night-long gun battle. Philadelphia police right now surround the home on North 15th Street.
Is this a wrestling announcer?
Much of the afternoon and evening firing an assault weapon at whatever police he could find. 6 officers so far injured, and this late development. 2 officers who were trapped inside with the gunman did escape late tonight.
Revelation 13, beast out of the sea, beast out of the earth. I saw a second beast coming out of the earth that had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. Now, this is the International Version, or NIV. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven in the earth in full view of people. So I'm just telling you that where they're starting to try to get you to think, they're putting in the word wounded head.
Racist pieces of, well, we won't say. There's sexism, bigotry, even threats of violence and calls for the executions of protesters, all allegedly written by sworn officers. CBS 3 caught up with Police Commissioner Richard Ross following Monday.
Or you can see them being rushed from the scene. One of them grazed in the head. The mayor spoke tonight with that officer's family.
I was talking to one of the officers who had the graze wound to the head, and he had 2 little boys that looked like they were 9 or 10 years old, 8 or 9 years old, and kept on thinking about how they...
9 or 10 years old, 9 or 10 days. 9 or 10 more days. So, today is day 7. And here are the pics. I gotta give Justin credit on that one. Here's the building with the 8 and the 8 on the corner, because here's the one side of the 8, here's the other side of the 8. Here's Steve, 10, 10, and 2. So I'm gonna go with 10. 10 days. We're at day 7, going into the 8th day. 2 more days after that will be 10. 5 times 2 is 10. So there's 2 10s there. You can take the 8 and add the 2 to get 10. You can take the 2 times the 5 and get 10. Like that even matters, right? But these are the picks, and Steve won. So here's Batman. He's going to be here August 23rd. 3 days. This event is going to take place at the Pennsylvania Convention Center from August 23rd, which is the 9th day since the shooting in Philadelphia by the 2 temples. By the temple. And 3 days. Didn't Steve say he's weighing it out? He's weighing it out. These are 3 days. There's 3 events in a row, back to back to back. And Batman is here. I wonder if Robin's going to be there. Comic Con. 9, 10-year-old, grazed in a head, wounded beast head. Beast getting ready to rise up from the pit. What does that even look like? It looks like something's rising up. Madonna is coming to Philadelphia there, or the Met place. Kleck is talking about Madonna. Kleck's talking about 311.
I go to Grand Junction, and when I show up there, Michael's finished his table, and his table has a river of life. going between two pieces of wood that's called the heaven tree. I do a jump right here with an X on my parachute. It says V for vengeance. It's two V's that make a big red X. At the same time, Madonna's coming up from the pit with an X on her. Here would jump. At the same time, Madonna's coming up from the pit with an X on her.
To Arch Street. Going to Arch Street. 2 towers right in front of your face. This is the only street besides the other side of this street.
It's like one of them is
2 towers.
younger than the other.
This bus will get out of my way. 2 towers, 10 days.
Arch Street goes
9
right
to 10
between
days.
both of them. So here's the street. There's Broad Street. This is Arch Street. And there's 2 towers right directly in between the street.
Local Fraternal Order of Police released a statement. We are going to read it in its entirety, and I quote, "We strongly condemn violence and racism in any form. The overwhelming majority of our 7,000
June 3rd.
officers regularly act with integrity and professionalism. We simply ask who is watching or policing those that target law enforcement with violently act with integrity and professionalism.
7,000.
We simply ask who is watching or policing those that target law enforcement."
So this is before the first event of Philly cops going down in the script. Revelation 11. Revelation 11 talks about the 2 witnesses being killed in the streets. I think everybody's heard this story before. They shall prophesy 2 candlesticks, 2 olive trees. If any man hurts them, fire proceeds out of their mouth, devours their enemy. When they shall finish their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit. All right. This is, the elites are referring to the beast rising up out of the pit. They're referring to Madonna. Okay. I know it sounds, but it is. Madonna is, what is that thing? Met Donna? Something like that on Broad Street that she's coming up. So because now the theme here is Philadelphia is going under. This is the great city that they're playing out. So that bottomless pit, when she rises up, I got to check the date of that. But their dead bodies being on the streets, and all the people after 3 days and a half, you know, they're all going to be collecting them, are going to be partying it up. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts to one another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwelled upon the earth. But after 3.5 days, which is another 3.5, Spirit of God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying, "Come up here." And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. At the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain men of 7,000. And the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the God of heaven. The second woe is past. 9:11. The second woe is past. Then there's a 40-day period from that point on. Behold, the third woe comes quickly, and the 7th angel sounded. And there were great voices in heaven saying, "The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever." The second woe is coming up. Third woe comes quickly, as soon as the 7th angel begins to sound. Alright, it's because it's in Philly. Alright, so she's having a party. It's a 3-4 day party, but it's in December 7th, 7/11. I don't think it's going that far, like with no incidences happening here in Philly.
iniquity and wickedness. So now we've got 3 in a row here. Okay, there's 3 in a row now. We're weighing it out. We have the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that we did a search on. Okay, now we just did a search on city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania man stealers, which are human traffickers. Okay, and then we have city of Philadelphia accursed. All verified just in 3 simple searches.
3. 3 in a row. I mean, after 9-10 days, because that guy's, he had his 2 sons, they're 9 and 10 years old, of course, and it's 3 events, 3 witnesses, and the first event that was canceled was right here. So I'm shooting for another cancellation right here. And then the third one, well, I don't know yet. Not sure. You know, the Pennsylvania Convention Center, Arch Street, Philadelphia, PA, 1 + 9 is 10, and 10 and 7. I seen 10-10 on the newscast there. And I've seen 7. You know, these are all the picks. These are all the picks. Picks 2. 2 towers. They got to be next to each other. 10-10 is 2 towers. 2 towers. 8 and 8 is a corner building. So here's Broad Street. And on this side there's 3 ones. Okay, so right there, and then over here is 1101. So there's Broad Street. There's City Hall. Broad Street's going up here. It looks like it, to me, it's a 2-level building. It has an upper level and a lower level and a basement. But right here at the front is 3 ones. 3 ones right here at the front of Broad Street, in between Arch and Race, because that's the card that they're pushing. Race, 15th, Arch, Angel, Philadelphia, Revelation. Philadelphia is big time into this database, and it goes all the way to, it starts down here, goes up to here. So you got 3 ones right there.
3 in a row now. We're weighing it out.
Flow down or to take up. And I'm sitting there going, that's really bizarre, because now I'm reading Eden Restored, and then I look at the date that I saw her address. I had to scroll back all the way back to March 11th, 3/11. And I'm like, what? And so in this phone, Kat's address is on this phone in our text messaging on 3/11. Corey just sent me 3/11 on a license plate. I'm going, maybe. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at Eden Restored. And then it's like, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, that's why the Lord sent me down to the place I got saved, because it's Adam ascending into heaven. It's Christ ascending into heaven. The Garden of Eden. I have game over written on my butt, basically. Oh my God, that's why he sent me down there. Game over. And when I look up Kat's address, it's on 311 and it says Eden Restored, because that's what's about to happen. At the end of this video, I'm going to let Max McLean read Revelation 22 to encourage everybody, because guys, we're going home. The end's coming. Whoever has an ear, let him hear. Yeah, the end is coming. We're going home. The Church of Philadelphia.
Where are you going? What, you going home? You think you're going home, Click? What'd you say about Philadelphia?
Philadelphia is leaving. The bride is leaving, guys. And either you have an ear to encourage everybody, because guys, we're going home. The end's coming. Whoever has an ear, let him hear. Yeah, the end is coming. We're going home. And the Church of Philadelphia is leaving. The bride is leaving, guys. And either you have an ear to hear,
we're not going anywhere.
That's why the Bible says, whoever has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. And I'm giving a testimony because that's the church I am supposed to be leading. Any doubt now?
Oh my goodness.
No. All right. Here we go. Now I'm going to give you this video testimony. That's the church I am supposed to be leading. That's the church I am supposed to be leading. Any doubt now?
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, man. I really, truly feel sorry for you guys that have to watch this clown. I don't have to, but I know I need to, because he's dropping the subliminals, what's going to happen in the next event. Just like every other YouTube planted agent.
And the Lord God was saying, Jonathan, open the door. And I wanted to know the truth so bad, I was willing to go out the door and get killed, because the guys that I'd been in a high-speed chase with that day were parked at the into the alley. Chose Freedom Eleuthero and opened the door. And I wanted to know the truth so bad, I was willing to go out the door and get killed.
Looking. All I can do is listen to the symbolism, watch the symbolism, listen.
Watch the symbolism. Couldn't get any more sixes than that, huh? This is what keeps happening. Just little things like that. Exactly the way Kleck is explaining it, but he's a fraud, okay? That's pretty much basically sums it all up. Exactly what Kleck is saying, but he is a fraud. These things really do happen, but he is a fraud.
Give us subliminally.
Alright, so I'm seeing something else
This guy
here.
over here just gave some kind of signal on his head.
Which was him, but then this guy over here, just watch how he just acts like he's important. I mean, I don't know, you tell me.
That's good. It's good.
Okay, because at first I thought maybe it's a vape in his hand, but then he's walking, touching his ear. Yeah, he just looks like he's an important guy. I don't know. Yeah. And then this guy over here with the gun.
To that guy.
He's just sitting there in his little red bag.
He's waiting right there. That's good too. And they got their eyes looking down here. That's good. This guy is circling around. That's good. Maybe him here. That would be even better. Again, I know I play around a lot, and I don't believe these shootings are real. But if they are, and I understand our code at 8:48 in the third day after that shooting scare at the subway, References to 16th Street, Fulton Bank, 16th Street here. Middle Eastern goodness.
And also let your yay be yay and your nay be nay.
The two officers that found the pressure cookers, some Middle Eastern name, the red bandana, and Philadelphia reference that John had collected
between the temples.
And Michael Spears, the YouTube channel, is talking about. You might want to question them already at Texas Police Department, because
especially this one now with, you know, simply the 311.